Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I am your host, Christian, the unbiased king. That's been all. And joining me through Discord, it is the man, the myth, the legend, the tank top sage. It's Joshua Gangsta Time Cole.
It's called partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
What up, Chris? What's good, everybody listening?
Hey. Also joining us, it is my brother, our producer. It is Edgelord Big News Brian. What's up, nerds? Oh, yeah. We are back. We are here. It is 2024, first show of the new year. Very excited for to keep up another kick-ass year of reviewing manga, talking about it with my bros, with the guys, with the fellers. But before we get into our first show of the year, let's get into plugs. You can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Joshua Cole, where can they find you?
At JDCole_37 on Instagram and at New Jump City Josh on X. And if you're on Discord, nah, let me stop.
Brian?
You can find me at b.esp on both Instagram and Twitter. And if you ever want to catch me when I'm streaming, you can find me at twitch.tv/itspunchlines.
Damn right. You can follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. You can email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about, and we'll answer it on our pre-show chat show that we do every week. And among other things we'll discuss on there. That's our little fun time show where we talk about pretty much anything we want, and sometimes it's manga. But yeah, hit us, check us out on that. Email us, comment under the YouTube video of your choice, whether you're watching the full version of the podcast or, well, I don't do this so much anymore because we don't have a video capability, but the little highlight breakouts we make. Yeah, why don't you subscribe while you're at it so you could be alerted to when we start dropping video versions of the pod. Check us out on that. If you prefer audio podcasts anyway, which is what we are at the moment, you can check us out on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Amazon, Pandora, pretty much everywhere you listen to podcasts, we're on there. So check us out on that. And without further ado, let's get into the show. Spoilers ahead. One Piece. This is One Piece chapter 1103. I'm sorry, Ziani. Last we left off.
Wow.
Last we left off, we had things were getting worse with Kuma's situation. We saw the details of his sacrifice, basically, and the chapter pretty much ended with Kuma relinquishing his free will. And we start this off with a little flashback to just a few moments earlier when Vegapunk linked up with Bonnie after she initially saw all of Kuma's memories. And he asks if she saw everything, and she confirms that she did. To which Vegapunk says, like, man, I've broken my promise to Kuma. Bonnie turns back into her child form and gives Vegapunk a hug, and she apologizes. And Vegapunk is like, well, I forgot I had this. This is a present for your 10th birthday. Kuma left it with me. And he left her a necklace shaped like the sun, which is very nice. He said it would be a good luck charm for you, but indeed, 2 years ago, who could have imagined that boy turning into this? So, Bonnie clarifies, like, so Straw Hat is the son of Daddy's friend? And Vegapunk is like, yep, I was shocked when I saw you two together. It's crazy how fate works sometimes. But he explains that, like, while she was in the room, A number of dangerous things have happened on Egghead, and they were gonna go meet up with them. And now we cut to present times where Saint Jay Garcia Saturn, in his weird demon spider mode, has Bonnie in one hand, basically. And he is talking shit. He's like, Julie Bonnie, your father Kuma is dead. He's dead, fam. Everybody else that's there cannot move. Sanji, Frankie, and Vegapunk are unable to move thanks to whatever Saturn did to them. Luffy is currently very skinny and in need of food after using Gear 5 for a prolonged period of time. Sentomaru has been captured. Kizaru is on the floor just like, oh no, Sentomaru, Bonnie. We see that around the world, I guess, people are like reacting to the news of the government's siege of Egghead. We see Dragon, contemplating what Kuma would do at this time. And cutting back to Egghead, Bonnie tries to use her powers to summon the Nika-like future, but it doesn't work. And Jay Garcia is just thinking to himself, like, whoa, she doesn't seem to have made the connection between Nika and Straw Hat's white-colored form. Such a shame. And then he turns his head, and someone fed Luffy. Someone's been feeding Luffy. He is currently eating a bunch of food. And he's like, who gave him food? Put him in sea prison cuffs right now. And I guess they try to proceed to do that. We see a little shot of Kizaru there. And I guess it's a little hint that Kizaru may have been feeding Luffy the whole time. Which is cool, which is pretty crazy. So Bonnie is not able to use her powers on Saturn, and Saturn explains that he gave her the powers that she currently has. It was an experiment to see if an infant incapable of eating solid fruit could get powers with an extract of it. It was successful, but the fruit itself was worthless. Its powers might allow you to transform into any future, but the more you know of reality, the narrower your future possibilities become. So that's an interesting way to think about it.
I don't agree with that necessarily.
Yeah, I think
I don't know if that's him just being negative or if that's the actual case.
I think he is under the assumption, which is a negative assumption, that like she wouldn't be, as she gets older, she wouldn't be able to imagine. She would be stoic enough to like not imagine a lot of possibilities in life. You know what I mean? Like she wouldn't be able to imagine. I guess skeptical. She wouldn't be optimistic enough to imagine that there are infinite possibilities of what she could be. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I guess as you get older, your ideas aren't as broad.
Yeah, your understanding of what's possible and what's not is like more limited the older you get.
Yeah. I guess it does make sense.
Yeah, I guess like because you have to. The idea, I guess, is that you have to genuinely believe that there's a reality where you can do certain things, and I guess you got to believe it down to your soul, basically. But yeah, this guy continues to talk shit, and he's just basically like, You want to believe in Nika, do you? And your current weakness is evidence that you've begun to think he's not real. He said, your father believed in the idiotic legend of the Buccaneers as well. And he says, I want to save people like Nika does. And he explains that he also performed an experiment on Ginny, which was a failure. And it caused her to get the Sapphire virus. So, this guy is he's just laying it on, as if we didn't need more reasons to hate this fucking guy.
Yeah, he's bad enough already.
Yeah, we already
Oda's
did.
just pouring it on.
He's like, Oda, we don't really need to any more reasons. He needs to go down. We know this. Vegapunk is outraged at this, and he's like, "Well, put yourself in my shoes. Would you bother yourself with the feelings of insects? It is impossible." And we see over the course of this, Kuma has landed on Egghead, and is just sprinting his way over there while this is happening.
Hauling ass.
Oh my God, he is going. And Garcia realizes that the authority chip isn't working on him because he just won't stop. And he comes in as Jay Garcia is about to kill Bonnie. Kuma steps in and takes the stab for her. And the chapter ends as Kuma is loading up a hockey-filled punch towards Jay Garcia. We don't get to see the punch. But I'm expecting a 4-page spread of a very satisfying punch to Jay Garcia.
4-page. Like a back-to-back 2-page spread.
Yeah. But that is
He put his fucking crab leg into this guy's back.
Yeah. Oh God, what an asshole. But yeah, that's where this chapter ends. Josh, what did you think about My Hero? Oh, not My Hero. One Piece, chapter 1103.
Well, we all kind of. I don't want to say we all. I think whatever. We seen this coming.
Yeah.
But I'm happy. I'm happy Kuma pulled up. Let's get to the part that we all really want to have a conversation about. Which is Bartholomew Kuma joining the Straw Hat Pirates. I'm gonna tell you this: when an admirable breaks rank, and what's the other word I'm looking for? Insubordinate. When he becomes insubordinate, there's no other way to go but become a pirate. And conveniently, one of the strongest pirates is right there around him. Once he helps save them, there's no going back. There's nobody who's the light ex-admirable person that plays that role on the Straw Hats. You have to accept that, Chris. You have to at least accept that truth.
I don't think he joins.
No, that. Oh, you're saying despite that truth, you don't think he joins?
I think he doesn't join, but he is kind of an ally at this point. I think he's gonna pull some like "I can't go with you" type thing, but I don't think he goes with them and joins them on the ship.
What a let down, Chris.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Brian, do you have any more to add to this?
No, actually, I don't.
Because
I tried. I tried my best.
Because I'm right.
Well, just accept it,
I feel like
Josh. It's okay.
Fine.
It's all right. You don't have to fight it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have much more to really say about this chapter. I mean, I'm happy we're moving forward down that we're out of the flashback. I think that's cool. I almost forgot that Bonnie was already there, so that she had already learned all of this, everything that happened.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't think this is it for Bonnie as far as like the extent of her abilities. I think she's gonna be reinvigorated, learn that Luffy is Nika, and then she's gonna start fucking making the land rubber too.
Yeah.
She literally using a Gear 3 punch. That's what that should. She's using Elephant Gatling.
Yeah, she is using Gear 3. Elephant Gatling is the hockey infused one.
It looks like hockey, right? Oh, she's just wearing black gloves. All right.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that. It doesn't matter.
I mean, she could probably use hockey. She's a fucking
Yeah, I would imagine so.
You
But she's
know.
also 12.
They're kind of
supernova.
They're kind of well. I don't think she knows hockey.
Yeah, I'm starting
She
to doubt it.
hasn't showcased any hockey use ever.
I'm starting to doubt that as well.
Is it because she's 10 years old?
Yeah, it's just
I mean,
like
12.
a child. Yeah.
Probably. We haven't
IRL.
seen Momonosuke do it.
Okay, well, I thought it was really sweet when she
I
went
wonder
up to
who's the youngest, who has the youngest showcase of hockey.
Momonosuke probably. I mean, he does have like the ability to talk to Zoe, and I think he has
Didn't
like
he get aged up?
observational hockey. Isa from Skypiea, she has
Ace.
Hmm?
Ace has it too.
Ace.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying the youngest.
Yeah, Ace at 10 years old used Conqueror's hockey.
Oh yeah, he did.
Whoa.
Yeah, I don't know how old
Pretty
Isa
cool.
from Skypiea is, but she also has observation hockey.
Yeah, so it looks like there were three of the youngest users were Isa, Ace, and Yamato.
Yeah, I went to Momonosuke too. I would put Momonosuke there.
When did Momonosuke use it?
Observation hockey at the very least.
All right, I'll take your word for it.
But yeah, all right. I don't know. What are you, any thoughts? Any other thoughts before I get into mine? I guess.
I thought it was really sweet. How Bonnie went back to her original age to hug
Vegapunk.
yeah, Vegapunk. Thanks.
Yeah, I agree. That was very nice.
Okay.
Like a little subtle
I think
thing.
That's about
they're
it.
kind of setting up Bonnie to be like Luffy's protege, aren't they?
I don't know about protege, but I feel like a lot of when there's like kids in the series, they tend to like gravitate towards Luffy.
Like she's gonna be like Luffy's Shanks, you know?
That's possible.
Like Roger was Shanks's wait, what the fuck am I talking about?
Yeah, I don't know.
Roger so oh god, how do I say this?
No, I know
brain
what you're saying.
literally-
I don't know how.
My brain just can't fucking say the sentence. That
I don't.
want
Yeah,
to
I
say.
We said
feel
this
like
last week, I think.
I feel like that's the different circumstances because I imagine Bonnie's going to be traveling with the Straw Hats, whereas Shanks didn't really let Luffy do the same at his age.
No, but like Shanks and Buggy was on Gold Roger's crew, so
Yeah,
they were kids. That's what I was thinking. There's a precedent for there being kids on.
yeah, but
Yeah,
it's
and
also
Bonnie is like baby Luffy now.
But it's also like kind of it's supposed that like Roger found Shanks as a baby is like widely thought. So it's not like the same thing. He didn't like take him on when he was like a kid. He ostensibly was raised by the Roger Pirates, if I'm guessing correctly. But we don't know that for sure. To be fair.
I think it's funny that Saturn was like, "Oh shit, she doesn't know that Nika's literally right there."
Yeah, he's literally like, whoa.
Literally.
He's like, what an idiot. She doesn't know how her power works. Here, now let me tell it to her. Now let me say it out loud. Hey, this is how your fucking devil fruit works.
Yeah, I think it was just like part of the ploy to just make her feel bad. Is, he at the same time he was like narrowing her possibilities of life at that point.
I think this was the dumbest thing Saturn did so far. I think.
No,
He's just like, you have to see Nika to be able to do the
to
Nika power.
believe in
He might
Nika.
as well have been pointing at Luffy.
Well, he didn't
Well,
say
he's
that he was. He to be fair, he didn't say, "Look at him over there."
No, but he might as well have.
He
He might as well have just been sitting there like, hey, stop trying to be
Yeah,
like
'cause-
Nika.
because once
He's
you
right
see,
there, look at him.
because if Luffy reachieves Gear 5, it's over for him.
Like, what is he fucking doing? He's actually throwing.
If he does
He
that
has-
shit, he's selling. He's selling the team. He's
He is up 3-0 right now in the finals. And he is about to fucking get reverse swept.
Yeah. He's like in The Incredibles when Frozen, he's like, he starts monologuing. Like, I understand he was breaking Bonnie's spirit because I think her powers are very dependent on what thinks she's capable of, and he has to like make sure that she thinks she's not capable of anything. But yeah, he's going a little too much. But yeah, does Brian, do you have any thoughts on the chapter overall? I think that was everything, right, Josh?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Kizaru, future Straw Hat, at least part of the Straw Hat Alliance. His crew is going to be Sentamaru, Jewelry Bonnie, and Vegapunk, and the Vegapunks,
Mm.
and maybe Kuma.
Mm.
Um,
Oh, you're like
Okay,
backpedaling a
you
little
know
bit.
what?
You did say
You know
he
what?
was going to join the Straw Hats, so
yeah, it's either he joins the Straw Hats
no,
as the crew member, or he is part of their fleet. There's no in between.
that's what I said. I said he would be like kind of an ally outside, you know.
No.
But you
Not
wanted to
kind
be
of
all
an ally, an actual ally that is affiliated with the Straw Hats.
all right. You say he would be on the Straw Hats.
Yeah, but if I have a feeling that we're like Sentamaru and Jewelry Bonnie and Kuma and Vegapunks, like there's no way that they don't have like a Straw Hat affiliation after this. Like a strong Straw Hat, like
I was saying that, but you guys were like, no, he's going to be the 11th member, basically.
no, not you guys. I said that.
Yeah. But look who's backpedaling now.
I'm not backpedaling. I still believe that it's either Kizaru joins the crew or he's part of the fleet. Like he's not going to join the crew, in my opinion.
There's no guarantee he's gonna help, but I think it's.
He already did.
I think it's leaning towards that.
He already did. He gave Luffy.
You think he
food.
gave Luffy the food?
I think
Yeah,
he
he
gave
just
Luffy the
moved.
food.
He just moved at light speed.
Mm-hmm.
He dropped off the food.
Yeah, I think that's why they cut immediately to him when he was like, who gave him food?
Hey, who gave him food?
And Kizaru was
I
just
thought it
there
was
like,
so funny.
Kizaru was just sitting there like, I hope he didn't see me do that shit real fast.
Yeah.
I think it was so funny to see to cut to Luffy eating food on the ground and Saturn does nothing about it.
Yeah. Well, he did tell his people to arrest him, but that was mad funny that Kizaru was just like, who did that? I wish Kizaru had done that. Where he was like, yeah, who did that? Why would they do that?
Well, yeah, those are my thoughts. I don't have much to say. I'll hold my thoughts on Kuma until next week.
Well, I think Jump is off next week in general, so
I'll hold my thoughts until I guess forever.
okay. I guess for an eternity, I'll never let you know what I think about Kuma. Yeah, I mean, I also don't really have a whole ton to say about this chapter. I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it, obviously. I can't wait for this guy to deck the shit out of Jay Garcia.
In a Luffy fashion.
Yeah,
Luffy
this
punches
was like
this-
reminiscent of that time in Sabaody. But so
I
good.
just hope they don't rob it from us.
Why would they rob it? Oh, you think there's going to be an immediate counterattack from Jay Garcia? Nah, he's
Yeah,
taking that.
Jay Garcia, it's either Jay Garcia gets punched and doesn't move, or he like grabs him with his little crab legs.
Nah, Jay Garcia has the look of somebody who's definitely about to take a punch to the face.
I hope so.
And he's like,
I'm hoping so.
Maybe he'll put his little crab leg up to try to block it, and he'll punch through it. That'll be
Oh my
that'll be
God.
pretty sweet.
Oh, there's one more
That'd be
thing.
crazy.
They also confirmed that Jewelry Bonnie isn't that Saturn isn't Jewelry Bonnie's dad, which is good. But it's still bad. Like everything that happened.
was that a thing
to
that people
Jay.
were saying?
Yeah, people were worried that if Saturn was Bonnie's dad, then it probably like there's no justification for him surviving. Essentially,
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't even a thought that entered my mind. I don't think he would do. I don't think like I never thought that he was like her dad.
It was just some fellow with 8 wives.
It was just this. It was some celestial dragon. We'll probably see her dad for real at some point.
Yeah, and if he does show up, everybody's gonna call for his death. Like
Yeah,
they cannot show this man on screen, or
I mean,
else it's over.
you can't show what he looks like because we'll be looking for him. Um. All right. Well, I mean, I guess if that's it for One Piece, this week, I guess we could move on. Good chapter overall, but it was a lot of, I guess, build up for this moment and allowing Kuma to get here, basically. So, you know, far be it. It's good that One Piece is starting on brand, giving us mostly a setup chapter to a really cool cliffhanger when he knows he has 2 weeks off. But that is One Piece. But without further ado, let's move onward. My Hero Academia.
Oh yeah.
This is My Hero Academia, chapter 411, History's Greatest Villain. Okay, so
Alternate title.
Ooh.
Fuck your mountain.
Yeah. Last we left off, Deku and Shigaraki were locked in the heat of battle. And it turns out that Shigaraki was able to steal the Danger Sense quirk. And we open this chapter from within the All for One world, One for All world, whatever the fuck you want to call it. You would think that the place where like the greatest heroes in the world would go would just be more than a shitty like corner of a room, but I guess that's what's waiting for all of us in the afterlife. But in any case, we're seeing that the One for All quirk people are kind of like talking amongst themselves, and that's when Danger Sense gets the Danger Sense, and a big gigantic Shigaraki hand pulls up, and Shinomaru, the fourth user, pushes, I guess, the Black Whip guy and a couple of others out of the way, before allowing himself to be taken instead. And we cut to the outside world where Banjo is warning Midoriya of the stolen Danger Sense quirk. So yeah, Shigaraki's like, that unbroken chain of inherited might, that the power that drove my master up the wall. I don't share his obsession, but hey, whatever helps me destroy you. Hey, I appreciate that. So Deku tries to capture Shigaraki, but Shigaraki manages to get away because now he has Danger Sense, and he can sense all of Midoriya's attacks and getting ahead of it. And he's like, my destruction can start with my biggest pain in the neck, you. And we get a 2-page spread of Shigaraki looking crazy. Just be like, are you still treating me like a human being? You can't pretend you didn't see me crying. Is that it? And I'm like, God damn, dude. He's like, it's whatever.
Remember that character in Naruto from the Sound Village that fought against the insect guy?
I think so, yeah. In the Chunin
He
exams?
had those tubes on his arms.
Yes.
Yeah, those tubes on his arm that he could blast energy out of.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Shigaraki looks like.
Yeah,
like
that's what he's got.
Those.
Yeah, they're very reminiscent of those. Yeah, Midoriya knows that he's in kind of trouble right now. He got blasted away by Shigaraki in that moment. And he wrapped himself in layers of Black Whip in order to like shield himself from the blow. But it didn't take all the damage away. His mask crumbled, and he's like bleeding from the head basically. And he's basically like, and then I guess the second One for All user is like, you equip that, you just equip that in order to keep breathing in those roiling waves, but now look where we are thanks to his haphazard rampage. And they're right by Mount Fuji apparently. So the second All for One, the second All for One user, or One for All. Damn, I keep getting that mixed up. I've been saying All for One for the last like fucking year. I can't say All for or One for All anymore. He's basically saying, keep in mind, he only stole a quirk, so that doesn't affect your overall physical boost. You still got your powers and stuff. And the smokescreen guy within the One for All world is basically explaining that shouldn't he use the power he's got left and escape and save himself? He's like, his danger sense are what saved us a while ago, but now that he doesn't have that, it'll be easier for him to snatch up every one of us. It will all be stolen, and that's the end of that. And bro, Shigaraki came in and he was like, "You think I don't see you, Phantom? Talk about running away."
Yeah.
You're like, damn. He's like, running and hiding is how you bunch got stronger. So I gotta destroy you before your next great escape. And Shigaraki initiates a huge decaying wave that is going towards Fuji. He's looking to sink Mount Fuji as it stands, and he looks so happy while doing it. He's like, "Yeah, my favorite thing."
He's like a ballerina.
Yeah,
And all the destruction.
yeah, bro's doing the Nutcracker Suite while destroying Mount Fuji. And everybody's like, he chased you here on purpose. The mountain will erupt when his decay hits it. So damn, N starts talking shit. The smokescreen guy. I just realized he's like, this one is no proper to successor for All for One. Oh, he was saying that about Shigaraki. I got confused for a second. He only delights in destruction. He is ruin incarnate. And Midoriya just stands his ground. And he goes, "No, it's all somehow connected. And somewhere inside you is a person." As he loads up a punch, his One for All punch. And that's where the chapter ends. With Shigaraki's danger sense going off like crazy. So yeah, that's the end of the chapter. Josh, what did you think about My Hero Academia, chapter 411?
I didn't realize that was this danger sense going off in the last panel, but that makes a lot of sense. I thought it was interesting that at this point he remembered what Uraka said about how she couldn't understand, fully understand what Toga was going through, but basically the same way Deku feels, which is that this is still the person they're dealing with, and because they're a person, they're worth trying to save them, which I don't necessarily have a problem with, but man, I hope he saves him and or kills him before he erupts that mountain, because Japan will really be gone.
Yeah.
Gone. The art did not blow my socks off, but it was very good. It was very, very good. It was between these two pages was a page 5 and 4. I mean 4 and 5, and then 6 and 7. Like that black whip attack. It's pretty nice, but Shigaraki's just too sly. I don't know what the fuck he's gonna do for this guy. I don't know what Midoriya is supposed to, like, I don't even think he could get close to punch him. Whatever. I'm droning on, but I don't really have too much else to say. How about you, Brian? How do you feel about this chapter?
I don't know. I felt the art wasn't as big time as the last few chapters, so the narrative had to carry this chapter a little bit more. So this was like kind of like a setup for the stakes, essentially. They're just setting up like, hey, this guy is actually stealing your shit now. Got to be more careful. So, I don't know. I don't have much to say about it because it's like a setup chapter for like the final fight now. This is essentially like, and also they added the other stakes on top of it that if Shigaraki touches Mount Fuji, it's gonna create a volcano. So I feel like this is like an interesting setup chapter. Personally, I don't have much to really say about it yet. But I'm looking forward to seeing how this entire thing plays out. I do think they did put us in like an interesting scenario. So here's to hoping that he sticks the landing here.
Yeah.
But those are my thoughts.
Yeah, just when you think you couldn't raise the stakes anymore, he goes ahead and is like, and now Mount Fuji's gonna erupt.
Hey, don't let him touch it.
Don't let him touch that shit. Yeah, I don't know how Deku's planning on countering this with just a punch, but it's very almighty, which is kind of cool. We see that All Might can basically change the weather with a punch, so maybe Deku's trying to do something similar, blow away the decaying wave or something. Or maybe like break the contact between Shigaraki and the ground.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Just
Well,
try
he could spread his ability, like, without touching it now.
No, I mean he's. I think he has like the contact through his feet, right? Because I think he still has to be in somewhat like range and contact with something that connects to it. Because if he could just destroy things from,
I think either way you're on point.
yeah, I think if he could just destroy things from a distance, he would be able to do that with Midoriya. Like he doesn't have to use his hands anymore. He could just like initiate it as long as he has like a point of contact with the ground. So probably through his feet or something.
Yeah, I guess it's the way his ability developed is that it spreads like fast instead of it just being at the contact point. So you're probably right.
Yeah.
But I think you're also right about Midoriya. Like about his attack. It's probably not about hitting him per se, but probably about like blowing back that annihilation wave.
Doing something. I don't know. But yeah, it's like Brian said. I think this is just kind of like a raising the stakes type of thing, a reactionary to like the danger sense getting sent away. I mean, I don't expect the art to like be 10 out of 10 every single time, so it's still pretty good. This 1-2-page spread with the hand coming in is pretty sick. But they can't all be spectacles of the pen.
Yeah, he needs a little break from drawing straight fire for so long.
Yeah, and he's got a week off. No Shonen Jump till 2 weeks from now. So yeah, again, not too much to say about this. I think it's a cool raising of the stakes that he has danger sense out of all the other quirks, because that is how Deku's been getting around. Is that he's been able to like dodge for so long because of danger sense, and now Shigaraki has just so many means of attacking him from a distance that Midoriya also doesn't really share. So now Midoriya's got to be extra alert going into this battle. He's got to be super wary. And he was already struggling with danger sense. So but yeah, those are all my thoughts. Do we have any rebuttals? Anything else to add?
Nope.
Alrighty then. With that being said, let's move onward.
Bloody Cross.
Jujutsu Kaisen. This is Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 247, Inhuman Makio Shinjuku Showdown part 19. Last we left off, Itadori and Higuruma have gotten into battle with Sukuna. Sukuna has basically forced an execution sentence, allowing Higuruma to have his executioner blade, which is a one-hit kill. So if it touches you once, you're dead. And they were still struggling despite that because Sukuna is just too damn good. And Higuruma, as naturally talented as he is, still doesn't have a whole ton of combat experience. So, this is a tough go for him. And the chapter ended with Higuruma amplifying his cursed energy, and we open this chapter with a little bit of Sukuna breaking down what exactly just happened. So he's basically saying that like he was able to resume his curse technique despite, I guess, being beat up so bad, I guess. And Sukuna was like, when I activated my amplification during my fight against Gojo, I was extremely careful that Malevolent Tribe's adaptation to that point was interrupted and not nullified. So this man's sword also resumed its curse technique after amplification. In other words, he wields his curse technique almost as effectively as I wield mine. And he's like, Hiromi Higuruma, right? That's your name. He got excited.
Sukuna has a new special.
Yeah. And yeah, I just realized what you said. He's like, you are my special.
Yeah.
So, he cuts up the entire building that they're currently standing in. Higuruma makes her lunge for it. But Sukuna just throws some rubble in his face. Itadori tries to intercept Sukuna, but he gets grabbed up and cut like a cast iron skillet. You see like the beef marks on his fucking torso, and he gets set flying.
Yeah.
And man, Sukuna's like, get it through your head already. You're boring. You don't thrill me at all.
He hashtagged. He hashtagged his chest.
For real.
Cubed part of a section of his torso.
For real.
Insane.
Higuruma is furiously stabbing, trying to hit this guy with the fucking executioner sword. But Sukuna gives him a pretty swift punch. And yeah, it's not going good. Sukuna's just dodging all of his attacks, and then he does dismantle on him, cutting off one of Higuruma's arms. And Sukuna just looks down and is like, heal that. Go on, heal yourself. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Get up, bitch. Keep fighting. Yo, he's such an asshole.
For real. And Higuruma's like, man, no matter how cold my heart, no matter how prepared I was, the pain still hurts. And Sukuna continues to cut him up. He's like, is that all you got? Next, I'll take off your head. Reverse curse technique. You heard of it, right? Come on, some effort, please. Heal or die. And Higuruma just continues to think to himself, I am intent on fulfilling my role. My role. And then I guess a blood blast comes in from Choso, and Sukuna blocks it, but that Higuruma uses the opportunity of distraction to heal his arm and go for Sukuna. And you see that he stabs through his hand, Sukuna's hand, but Sukuna in the very last second cut off his hand right as this guy was stabbing it. And Higuruma's like, oh shit, he's separated before I can strike him. And he gets a tiny little flashback of Yamaguchi being like, not Yamaguchi, Kusakabe saying that like curses don't always weaken after death. Yeah, the general idea is that they get stronger. And you see that Higuruma tosses up the executioner sword, and we see as he's getting cut up by Sukuna, Itadori comes in, and he catches the executioner blade and tries to stab it into Sukuna, into Sukuna's back, and that's where the goddamn chapter ends, and this is where we left for 2 weeks. So thanks, Gege Akutami. You did it again. You've depressed me thoroughly. Josh, what did you think about Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 247?
Well, RGC, first of all.
Yeah, same for me. Brian?
Yeah.
All right, unified really good chapter of the week is Jujutsu Kaisen.
Unified RGC. Unified RGC. Unified RGC.
Yeah, the One Piece trumpet's always nice. Yeah. I was surprised with this chapter. Sukuna really doesn't care about Itadori. He thinks so low of him. And it's crazy because like he was with him the whole time and watched him develop, but he just never was interested. And I don't know if it's because he's being a hater or if it's genuinely like, listen, even with how fast he's grown, he doesn't have a curse technique. That's why he doesn't really care about him, right?
Yeah.
That's probably like a big reason. Well, as far as we know right now, anyway. But man, I did not expect Higuruma to pass, Itadori the sword. I didn't even think he could do something like that. I mean, whether Itadori is able to land that blow or not is another thing, but I thought that was pretty crazy. Him, yeah, Sukuna telling him to heal. He said, "Come on, some effort, please." And both of his arms was like chopped off and leaking. He was like, "Oh damn, this is rough." But he came back real quick and healed his arm. That was pretty crazy. He really is. His talent is on another level.
Yeah.
But Sukuna, he's can't say it any other way. He lives to slaughter.
Yeah.
He lives to embarrass.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a cat. And everybody else is rodents and insects.
Word.
Sometimes they don't even kill like cats, they don't even kill the mice sometimes. They just look at them and play with them until they die. And then they're like, all right, I'm bored. I'm going to pick you up and bring you to my owner.
Yeah. They say heal that.
But Sukuna doesn't have an owner. Yes, heal that.
Some effort, please.
Yeah. You going to get up? No? Okay. So, yeah, I really enjoyed this chapter. I did not enjoy seeing Higuruma get, aced up like that. I think he's dead. I mean, he can heal, but man,
He's most likely
I think
dead.
he's in more. I think he's in more pieces than Gojo at the moment, and it's not preferable for him to heal.
Yeah, we don't know
Then
the
again,
full
he was
extent
doing the
of
special.
we don't know the full extent of his injury, so it's not entirely impossible that he's dead.
Oh, I have an idea, right? I think he didn't deal a super I don't think he dealt like a lethal blow because he maybe was apprehensive about killing someone with that talent similar to Gojo because of that experience fighting against Gojo. Maybe he's like, damn, I don't want to like lose. I mean, I don't want this person to be gone. I want to be able to keep fighting them and stuff. Kind of like, I don't know if y'all remember from Bleach with Kenpachi. And he was like making himself like not win. Like I remember when he fought against the previous Kenpachi. I'm not gonna get into Bleach, but for the sake of the listeners, but yeah, this was I mean, like I said, RP Higuruma, but I think Itadori's about to kill. And I really think like this is it. I'm actually gonna say that.
That's a
Anybody else think this is it?
that is an
Oh,
extraordinarily bold claim.
Yeah,
yo,
I am.
one last thing. One last thing, and then I could give y'all thoughts. But like, Itadori does not have reverse curse technique on that level, and he is currently a C. He's the letter C in his chart. As a whole.
It's currently AC.
I think he's dead too.
Yeah. You think he's gonna wake up this next chapter is gonna start in the airport?
But with Sukuna. And they're gonna have a conversation, and then Sukuna's gonna be like, "You're a crazy kid, you know. Maybe you could have been strong." And Itadori's gonna be like, "Man, I am strong. Forget you.
Yeah.
But it was interesting hanging out with you." And then he's gonna be like, "Ha ha ha. Yeah, I guess it was interesting." Then the series is gonna end like that. We're not even gonna get like an explanation of what
Yeah,
happened later.
whatever.
We're not gonna know what happened with Kenjaku's plan. That's it.
That's
That's
the
all that
end.
really matters. Yeah.
Well, that's a hell of a theory there.
And then like when we read the last chapter, like whatever device you're reading it from is gonna start playing "You Are My Special" like as soon as you get to the last page. Involuntarily.
I mean, I hope so. I really like that song.
So if you're like at the movies, you know what I'm saying, and you have your phone on silent, but you just you're reading the comic for whatever reason, it's gonna play.
Yeah, all of a sudden you're just gonna hear "You Are My Special." Boo, woo, 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 woo.
Exactly.
I'm into it. I hope it happens.
Me too. Honestly, I would live for an ending like that. I think if Jujutsu Kaisen actually ended like that, I would honestly put it in my top one of all time.
Yeah. Do we find out if Higuruma survives in this ending?
No.
Mhm.
Well, he'll either be at the airport with them or he won't.
Hmm. All right. Well, Brian, what did you think?
I think Higuruma's death was very interesting because I do believe it is very similar to Mahito, where Higuruma was kind of like evolving at an extremely rapid rate, and if he wasn't stopped, he probably would have been like a ginormous deal.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm honestly like a little sad, but then again, this is what the humans did to curses, right? Is what they've always done. So it's kind of like a reversal of sorts. So I don't know. I'm kind of Sukuna is definitely that motherfucker. Like this chapter definitely proved that this guy is just different. And I don't know if there's a villain like him, to be honest. Like who is on this level of like petty and like so above everybody around him like this?
Yeah.
Like I don't think I've ever seen a villain cut off people's arms and then be like, "All right, now do something."
I feel like I've seen it maybe once before, but I can't remember who. But yeah, I mean, he's one of one. This guy.
Like that was such a unique villain moment that I feel like only Sukuna can pull off, if I'm being honest. I don't think there are many other villains that can do what Sukuna did.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. That alone brought the RGC for me. I was so fucking impressed with that moment from Sukuna.
Yeah.
And I think we're kind of getting a glimpse of what Yuji's curse technique could be, or at least like curse technique equivalent. it looks like he can kind of just he could just kind of fucking copy curse techniques, right? Is that what's going on?
I don't think so. What made you think that?
Because so he has the sword, right? And then we saw the blood technique get used.
You
But we
think he
didn't
did
see
that?
Who shot it? Yeah. So and it did seem weaker than what Choso would do, right?
Well, I mean, they're not particularly strong, these blood blasts, I guess.
Yeah, but Choso's are definitely has a lot more oomph.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't just bounce off
Hmm.
with shit.
That's interesting. I don't know if it's copying necessarily because that's Okotsu's technique. But
What if he
maybe.
took a piece of everyone's soul before the fight, and he just has like a
Mm.
soul Rolodex in his arms, like a dual desk, like a dual deck. Oh my god, like a dual deck.
Like a dual
You know what I
disc.
mean? Like a fucking Yu-Gi-Oh dual disc.
Honestly, that's an interesting thought. Yeah, I mean, I think it's more that maybe having Sukuna within him for a prolonged period of time, because Gojo, it's a throwaway line almost, but he did say that the longer the longer Sukuna is within you, the more it's likely that you'll like be able to do some of the stuff that he does. And Sukuna is
Yeah,
able
they said
to,
his cursed ability would imprint on Yuji.
yeah, and Sukuna is able to use other people's techniques. So it's not entirely impossible. I think it's more that Sukuna has rubbed off a little bit enough on Yuji that he's able to use some. He's capable of some of the stuff that Sukuna is capable of.
So that means Sukuna can take the sword then, right?
Well, the sword, like Itadori didn't summon the sword. Higuruma gave it to him. Like he tossed it up.
So it can be. I'm just trying to figure out.
Because Itadori didn't create the sword. Higuruma seems to have tossed it to him in that last moment. So I mean, and plus, like the sword is a direct, like, result of Higuruma's domain. So I don't think Yuji would be able to do it even if he could copy techniques, because that's like a domain specific thing.
Maybe. I'm next chapter we're going to get the answer as to what Yuji's upgrades are for sure though.
Mm-hmm.
Sakuna's
I mean, I
going to
would hope
survive
so.
somehow. I don't know how,
I
but
fucking
he's
hope
going
so.
to survive. And I hope Megumi does not get fucked for it.
Oh god.
But those are my thoughts for Jujutsu Kaisen this week.
Yeah, man, I almost didn't give this shit to the RGC, just out of principle. Just like because he took Higuruma from me. I'm not gonna give him the death sound effect here, because unless I see that, unless they look me in the eye and say Higuruma's dead, I'm not accepting this death.
I'm right there with you, brother.
But I caught an attitude when I saw that he cut him up. He turned him into mincemeat over here. I was like, come on.
Yeah, that was super unfortunate, and that's word to Thorfinn.
Yeah, that fucking sucked. It was not a good feeling. I feel like I've been too conditioned from Jujutsu Kaisen to expect anything good to happen. So I don't think, call me crazy, I don't think this sword lands on Sukuna.
What do you mean?
Like he's
The
gonna
moment-
stab Sukuna, but it's gonna be an after image.
Yeah, or he's gonna just miss straight up. I'm too conditioned to think that that nothing good happens in Jujutsu Kaisen ever. I'm almost believing that the bad guys are straight up just gonna win. But But yeah,
Because Gigi thinks life isn't fair.
yeah, because this is his core beliefs coming into play. But yeah, I mean, maybe. Who knows? I don't know, man. I'm done predicting what goes on in the fucking twisted mind of Akutami. Maybe Itadori does win, only to be killed by Kenjaku and Okotsu's body. How about that for an
Would
idea?
that literally be the worst case scenario?
That would be a pretty shitty scenario. I would say that's a pretty worst case scenario thing. But yeah, and the previous main character killing the current main character. That would be pretty intense. What's this arm thing? It has to do with his arm. Whatever Itadori's arm is doing,
Yeah.
that's what.
Imagine they just go the rest of the series without explaining.
Yeah, they never talk about it. They never bring it up. The entire rest of the
You
series.
know, guys.
What do you mean? It's always been there.
I'm
And then
starting
he
to-
redraws the entire series.
Yeah, he
That-
gaslights us.
I'm starting to think it's just aesthetic.
You think so?
I think it's just
Yeah.
cosmetic
fight.
arms.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Nah, he did something to his arms, and I know they're gonna explain it. Because Jujutsu
You know,
Kaisen,
huh?
one thing about Jujutsu Kaisen you can count on, Gege will explain everything.
So I want you to go to the last page
Mm-hmm.
and zoom in
Mm-hmm.
on Yuji Itadori
Mm-hmm. Which
and
one?
look at his body.
What, the very last page?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. I'm looking at it.
You see his body?
Yep.
On the right
he is a
side?
C.
It's missing a big piece, probably an important piece. So if he doesn't stab him, that's it. There's no new ability. There's no further development.
Imagine it's like, haha, you did hit me, but instead you killed the Heian era version of me.
Shit.
Ah. Damn.
So then he just returns back to.
Oh my god. What if he like brings out Megumi?
Yeah, that's what I was saying when I hope that Megumi doesn't get
Jesus
body, of course.
Christ.
But they already said that the sword can discern who it's trying to kill.
Yeah.
So we're Megumi safe from the stab. I
Yeah,
guess.
Megumi is safe. He would be safe. You're right, Brian. You're right. I believe it. I believe you. I have
Are
to.
you sure?
I have
Are
to.
you sure you believe it?
I have to.
Hey, I mean, I believe that you believe, man.
Thanks.
May still has to come and fight.
Hmm?
May still has to come and fight.
She's not fighting.
She has already left the country, my man.
She's not there.
She is on a fucking red-eye flight to Malaysia. She is chilling.
Right after she set them crows, she was like, all right.
Yeah, that's literally. She literally said, "Hey, I'm not going because I'm gonna run." That is literally what she said.
Yeah. Well, those are all my thoughts on Jujutsu Kaisen. I thought it was great. Great chapter. It hurt my feelings, as a good Jujutsu Kaisen chapter should. I hope things are gonna be okay. I just want all my friends to be okay in Jujutsu Kaisen.
Too bad. Somebody else is gonna die for sure.
Every time I finish a chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen, I'm just like, bro, are you okay? Why are you writing this? Do you have no optimism for the human race at all? Probably not.
Probably not.
No. All right. Well, if there's no more rebuttals or anything, I guess we can move on. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, all right. Then let's get into it. Undead Unlock.
Wowie.
And with that, I'm going to toss this one over to Josh.
All right. Undead Unluck. Chapter number 190. The Person I Admire. Last week, they found the reincarnation of Jews. Justice.
Yeah, I forgot her.
Something like that.
Yeah, Justice.
It's bad. Yeah, it's pretty bad. So, yeah, so they find her at they find a child version of her at school, and immediately she gets into trouble with Uma. Fuko came in to rescue her. This week we start with like a flashback of Juiz and Victor having a duel to settle something like that. But it was just a friendly, like a spar with what do you call that? It was a fencing spar. So Juiz won because she's nice with it, and it was just a memory that I guess, or like a dream that her reincarnation Justice had, as she's listening to Fuko say, "Hey, I'm Fuku Izumo, and I'm here to make you join my gang." So she, Justice is fucking ecstatic. But before she gets the chance to ask her questions, Platinum Gold's, I guess the brother, yeah, the brother to Gold, the Uma they just destroyed, pops up out of nowhere and they start running. But Justice is essentially like a crackhead trying to, asking Fuko like why like you got to tell me about this girl Justice that I keep seeing, like please, like she even ran away from Fuko and put herself in harm's way, to force her to let her know about Jews. So out of nowhere we see Shen and forget his wife's name. They both, pull up and destroy Platinum because, they're small fry. And Fuko agrees to have a fencing duel with Justice so that she'll tell her about, Jews and her past. Which is like
Their
kind
name
of crazy
actually
because like
Jews?
Her name is Juiz,
he,
which, fun fact,
Juiz.
is Portuguese for judge.
Interesting.
oh Juiz.
Juiz.
All right, so yeah, Juiz is very full of herself as a fencer, and she has no idea what time Fuko is on. So she says that, listen, if I take one round, then you got to tell me about Miss Juiz. And Fuko was like, all right. And as soon as they begin, she taps her on the head with the sword and beats her. And she says, all right, that's it. Now deal's
Easy
the
work.
deal. Keep calm. Hear me out. Yeah, like 1, 2, 3. And it's funny because Unseen is like, damn, like she's good at fencing too, and they're like, nah, she's just raw. It doesn't matter what she's doing, she's better than that person. She's stronger and smarter and faster. Okay. So Justice requests 100 more rounds. And she says if I take one of them, she wins the match. Which I don't know why anyone would have to agree to something like that. She even goes back on her knight's word, but she says, "Oh, technically, I ain't say how many matches." So, yeah, pretty sleazy, but she's very determined. It's funny because like the rest of the union members kind of make a point that, yo, Fuko, I ain't gonna lie, you be pressing us like that. You know what I mean? Like it sounds like this girl is like a smaller version of you. So they have their rounds, and man, Justice is getting packed. It's
Juice.
like she lost the first two. Then it went to 55, and then 80. And this is to 0, by the way. Then eventually, like remembers that Fuko mentioned to her she has an ability called Unluck because earlier she didn't want her to like touch her like while they was running away from the Uma. So she actually creates a diversion by throwing her fucking saber at Fuko's face. I don't know how she didn't like dodge that, but I guess she wasn't expecting it. So after she creates that diversion, she goes to tap the part in her leg that was cut earlier in their duel, which didn't count by the way because it's below the waist. I didn't know that was the case in fencing. I guess you would just chop someone's legs all the time. Fair enough. Anyway, so she touches Fuko and creates an unluck situation in the entire fucking building. Jesus Christ, the building gets dismantled. I thought just the roof fell or something. It looks like they got caught up in Sukuna's battle. Real talk. So yeah, man, Fuko could use dismantle without even trying. I think Sukuna would love Fuko, but anyway,
Nah, she's too nice.
like damn.
He would hate how nice of a person
She's
she is.
raw. But she likes to fight though.
That's true.
Well, anyway, the other union members pull up to the building to see if anybody fucking died because a building fell apart. But Gina kept them safe in a little bubble, and within that bubble, while everything was falling apart, Justice came in and got a hit on Fuko, 99-1. And she said, I did it right. So tell me. And she says, Fuko says that Miss Juiz is the person I admire. And she says, I'm here because I crossed paths with her. And she learned so much, in her past life. And that now she feels like it's her turn to kind of guide her. Justice, like for Fuko to guide Justice. And, help her follow in the right footsteps to become strong and become an integral member to the union. It's really cool. It's like a true baton pass at this moment, like a completion. And then this Nimbus pulls up and takes them away into the sky as Fuko screams "wicked sick," and that they're going to Brazil to get top.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, yeah, that was good, right? That was. Huh?
Hold on, I got something
Yeah.
for you right now. Hold
Nice.
on.
In the Brazil to get some top. I feel like in Japanese, they might have said it in reverse. 'Cause
Yeah.
they phrase things that way. That I feel like there's in someone's language, in some other language, in translation of this, it's said in that way.
Yeah. Oh
Feel
god.
that.
Sorry about that.
Okay, so that's the end of the chapter. They're going to get Top, the fast guy, in one of our favorites, Brian's favorite character, actually,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly.
Yeah, time to start.
IRC?
Time to start reading
That's-
the series again, I guess.
Yay.
IIRC,
What does that stand for? I never really.
If I recall.
if I remember correctly.
Oh.
Weirdos like Brian say recall. Most people say remember.
Yeah, you hear that, Brian? You're a weirdo.
Most people don't say it at all.
Oh yeah.
They type it.
Well. Anyway.
Anyway, Chris, what's your thoughts?
I thought it was pretty cool. I was wondering, is this Juice or is this just like a brand new character? I guess her name is Julia, so I guess it can't be Juice.
Oh, I keep calling her Justice.
Yeah. I guess I was like a little bit confused in that moment. Now I hadn't really thought about it. I was like, wait a minute, this isn't Juice then. This is just like an entirely new character.
But it's her reincarnation.
Mm.
Different memories in life. Same person in soul. I mean, still the negator, but like a different reality version of her.
Yeah.
Remember, because she didn't. It's weird with her because she didn't exist. She didn't have any real parents, so she got.
Okay,
Her
yeah,
life
so
didn't
she is
repeat
a reincarnation of
Yeah.
Juice d'Arc. Her name is Julia Justicia.
Julia Justicia. Yeah.
It's a justice. But yeah, no, I thought this was really cool. I like that you know, it is like kind of a play on justice that like she's like I could play a little dirty if it means reaching my aspiration, and it came to be, it actually worked out because she would be the injustice one. So, the injustice negation was kind of like always tough to discern, but I guess it has to do with like, whatever you think is moral or just in order to accomplish your goals is what will be allotted to you in order to do it. You'd be able to accomplish anything as long as it aligns with your sense of justice. So even if it's like not necessarily morally sound, I could dig it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think I agree with you just saying. Like, it's everyone's personal justice. It's not
Yeah.
like a standard moral or nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the way she was going hard for what she wanted to learn about, I guess that's kind of part of it. So it's gonna be interesting how her negation ability affects. I get it. It makes people not want to do the thing they really want to do.
Yeah.
That's a weird way to express justice, but I'm willing to kind of ride it out. The negation abilities have been like some have been redefined, some have been fleshed out further,
Mm-hmm.
at least. So we'll see. She hasn't awakened yet.
Yeah, there have been more. It all depends on your interpretation of the initial thing. So, like, whatever you consider to be justice, it has a direct result on your negation of that rule. So, I get you could be creative with how you apply your negation as and stuff. So, yeah, I don't really have a whole ton of thoughts. It's good that she's back. It'll be cool to see how they save Toph, because I remember Toph having one of the sadder backstories, and honestly one of the darker ones.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited to see how they kind of stop that from happening. But yeah, those are all my thoughts on Undead Unluck. Josh, what did you think?
I'm really interested in how what's her name again?
Julia.
Julia, yeah, about how the interpretation of her ability is gonna be built on from what it was before. But I thought it was really interesting that they didn't give her a full arc. It made me kind of think like, is he in gear towards like the end right now, or maybe there was never a. Well, yeah, the fact that again her power didn't awaken in her own like, multi-chapter arc like a few of the other members, I guess means that there's still more to her story. So this is interesting in a good way. And I hope the Brazil arc is really good. Top deserves the time.
Definitely.
Pause.
All right. Well, that's it for Undead Unluck, right? No thoughts, nothing else.
Yep.
All right. Well, that has been Undead Unluck, and that has been our show. Thank you guys so much for joining us this week. First show of the year. Very excited about that. It felt like a really short show because a lot of stuff was build-up chapters, but I'm very much excited to go into a new year of manga with all of you. And thank you guys for listening. You can find me at the Chris.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. You can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Josh is at JDCole_37 on Instagram, at New Jump City Josh on Twitter. Brian is on at b.esp on both Instagram and Twitter. You can catch him where he's streaming at twitch.tv/It's Punchline. Follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Email the show at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com if you have any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. We'll cover it on a pre-show chat show, and check that out while you're at it. It's a fun time. I always enjoy doing the pre-show chat show with you guys. So it's always a fun time. Listen to that. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, comment on whatever you can. Hopefully we'll be back in video production in that moment on that platform. But for now, give us a follow on that. Listen to us anywhere you listen to podcasts: Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, all that stuff. We're on it. So do all that. And thank you guys so much for listening. Happy New Year, New Jump citizens.